Throughout history, certain places have captivated our imaginations and stirred our deepest fears. These locations, shrouded in mystery and the supernatural, challenge our understanding of reality. One such place is the Devil's Tramping Ground in North Carolina. For over 2 centuries, this barren circle of Earth has been the source of eerie legends and unexplained phenomena. From scientific investigations to personal encounters, the stories surrounding this site are as chilling as they are fascinating. Join us as we delve into the true, unsettling history of the Devil's Tramping Ground, exploring the accounts of those who have dared to uncover its secrets. Deep in the forests of Chatham County, North Carolina, lies a barren circle of earth known as the Devil's Tramping Ground. This mysterious patch of land, approximately 40 feet in diameter, has been the subject of local legend and eerie tales for over 2 centuries. Nothing grows within the circle, and objects left there overnight are said to be moved by morning, untouched by human hands. The legend has it that this is the place where the devil himself paces in a circle, plotting his nefarious deeds. The first documented mention of the Devil's Tramping Ground dates back to the early 1800s, when settlers began to report strange happenings in the area. Farmers noticed that no vegetation would grow within the circle, and animals avoided it. At night, eerie lights and sounds emanated from the site, leading locals to believe that something otherworldly was at play. In the 1930s, Dr. George W. Hare, a botanist from a nearby university, decided to investigate the phenomenon. Armed with scientific equipment, he set out to determine why nothing could grow in the barren circle. He took soil samples, analyzed the area's magnetic field, and even set up cameras to monitor the site overnight. To his surprise, the soil within the circle was not significantly different from the surrounding area. There were no unusual levels of radiation, toxins, or other chemicals that could explain the absence of plant life. The magnetic field was slightly disturbed, but not enough to account for the phenomena reported by locals. The cameras too failed to capture anything out of the ordinary, yet objects left within the circle continued to move inexplicably. Dr. Hare published his findings, concluding that while he could not provide a scientific explanation for the Devil's Tramping Ground, he could not entirely dismiss the locals' claims either. The mystery only deepened, attracting more attention and curious visitors. In the summer of 1971, a group of college students decided to camp overnight at the Devil's Tramping Ground. They were skeptical of the legends and wanted to debunk the myth once and for all. Armed with tents, cameras, and a healthy dose of bravado, they set up camp right in the center of the circle. As night fell, the atmosphere grew tense. The usual sounds of the forest were conspicuously absent, replaced by an eerie silence. Around midnight, one of the students, Mark, claimed he saw glowing red eyes in the darkness just beyond the circle. His friends laughed it off, attributing it to an overactive imagination. However, as the night wore on, their skepticism turned to fear. The temperature dropped suddenly, and an oppressive sense of dread filled the air. They heard footsteps circling their campsite, heavy and deliberate, but saw no one. Their flashlights flickered and died, plunging them into darkness. In a panic, they grabbed their belongings and fled the site, leaving behind a camera that had been set up on a tripod. The next morning, they returned to retrieve it and found the camera untouched, but the film revealed something chilling. In the middle of the night, the lens had captured a series of photographs showing a faint, shadowy figure moving around their campsite. In the early 2000s, a team of paranormal investigators, intrigued by the numerous reports of strange activity, decided to conduct a thorough investigation of the Devil's Tramping Ground. They brought with them an array of equipment, including EMF detectors, thermal cameras, and audio recorders. Upon arrival, the team immediately felt an unsettling presence. The EMF detectors registered abnormal fluctuations, and the thermal cameras captured cold spots moving within the circle. One of the investigators, Sarah, set up an EVP, electronic voice, phenomenon recorder, to try and capture any sounds that might be inaudible to the human ear. That night, the team experienced a series of disturbing events. They heard whispers and saw shadows darting between the trees. The temperature around them plummeted, and their equipment malfunctioned repeatedly. The most chilling moment came when Sarah reviewed the EVP recordings the next day. Amidst the static, a deep, guttural voice could be heard saying, "Leave this place." The investigators, though seasoned in dealing with the paranormal, were deeply shaken by their experience. They concluded that the Devil's Tramping Ground was indeed a hotspot of supernatural activity, unlike any other they had encountered. One of the most compelling stories comes from an old farmer named James who lived near the Devil's Tramping Ground for most of his life. In the 1980s, he recounted an experience that left a lasting impression on him. One autumn evening, his prized hunting dog ran off into the woods. James searched for hours but couldn't find him. The next morning, he ventured into the forest again, this time heading toward the infamous circle. As he approached, he saw his dog standing motionless at the edge of the clearing, staring into the center. When James called out, the dog turned and bolted back home, visibly terrified. Curious and worried, James stepped into the circle to see what had frightened his dog. He felt an immediate sense of unease and heard a faint humming sound, as if coming from beneath the ground. He quickly left the circle, and from that day on, he made sure to keep his distance. Despite the numerous investigations and personal accounts, the mystery of the Devil's Tramping Ground remains unsolved. Scientists, paranormal enthusiasts, and curious visitors continue to explore the site, each hoping to uncover the truth behind the legends. Some speculate that the circle is a portal to another dimension, while others believe it to be a place cursed by dark magic. Local authorities maintain that there is no danger in visiting the site, yet the eerie stories persist. The barren circle, untouched by time and nature, continues to defy explanation. Those who venture too close often leave with more questions than answers, haunted by the feeling that they've encountered something beyond human understanding. The Devil's Tramping Ground has become a part of North Carolina folklore, a place where the line between reality and the supernatural blurs. It serves as a reminder of the mysteries that still exist in our world, waiting to be discovered. Whether one believes in the legend or not, the stories of the Devil's Tramping Ground continue to captivate and terrify those who hear them. As the sun sets and the forest grows dark, the circle stands as a silent witness to centuries of fear and fascination. It is a place where the past and the unknown converge, leaving an indelible mark on all who dare to tread upon its cursed soil.